Welcome to the Make It Personal podcast presented by Mutual of Omaha Advisors. Make it personal. It's your money. It's your plan. It's your future.
In our last two episodes of this podcast, we introduced our 7 principles for your financial success. And then we took a deep dive into Principle 1, your career, a growth engine to your success. Our next 6 episodes, including this one, will take a deeper dive into the remaining principles. As much as I welcome you to head back to episode 5 for an overview, and if you do go back there, please click subscribe while you're there, it's not absolutely necessary for you to listen to that episode first. Now let's set the stage for today's episode. As we continue with Principle 2, saving versus investing, know the difference. There are a lot of places where people seek financial advice or guidance on personal finance. Among the top are friends and family, financial websites, radio, TV or podcast, books, newspapers, and magazines. The thing about personal finance is, well, it's personal. If you want your plan to be personal, it has to be tailored to you. When it comes to personal finance, the concepts of safety, liquidity, and return are critical parts of a well-rounded financial strategy. But traditional advice based on savings rates, which recommends that you save 10 to 20% of your income, often falls short of achieving true financial security. This conventional wisdom can provide a false sense of security or lead to underfunding or even derailing your future goals. While saving something is definitely better than saving nothing, relying on these traditional percentages may not be enough, especially if you're not financially stable right out of college. If you save 15% of your income, avoid bad debts, make sound purchasing decisions on major expenses like cars and housing, and don't encounter unexpected emergencies, traditional advice may suffice. But the reality is that most people don't fit this ideal scenario. In fact, one study showed that nearly half of Americans, 44% to be exact, cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense from their savings, and few achieve the financial independence often promised by financial gurus. Before you can begin building sufficient savings, it's crucial to first understand the difference between saving and investing. Saving provides safety, security, control, and flexibility, offering you options for immediate financial stability when you need it. On the other hand, investing presents the opportunity to grow wealth, but also introduces the potential for volatility and loss. The key is getting the order right. Save first, then invest. While saving and investing share the common goal of accumulating money, they operate on different principles, and each requires a distinctive approach. Many people wrongly conflate savings with investing, or they think of investing as being risky. True financial growth often comes from becoming owners of successful businesses rather than just investing in the stock market. It's also important to consider the difference between average rates of return and actual rates of return. While financial gurus often tout a 10% annual growth rate in the stock market, which may seem impressive, the actual dollar amount generated can significantly differ when you factor in market fluctuations and real-world returns. Let's take an example to show you the difference between average rate of return and actual rate of return results. Let's assume we invest $100. I'm using a small number in an attempt to keep the math simple. At the end of year 1, let's say you earn a 100% return, which again is a number that I've chosen to make the math simple. We're not advocating that we're going to find you 100% annual returns. Quite frankly, if I had the lowdown on investments that regularly provided 100% annual returns to you, I likely wouldn't be standing here with the camera in my face right now. Though if you have a lock on some investments like this, please let me know. At the end of year 1, your money would double if you earned a 100% return, and now you'd simply have $200. In year 2, you unfortunately have a loss of 50%. Again, fictitious numbers for simple math. Same here. I'm not here touting investments at regular return and negative 50% annually, as I likely would not be standing here either. After that negative 50% return, you're now down back to your original $100. The person selling you that investment might tell you that you've had an average return of 25%, 100% minus 50% divided by 2 years. Does it feel like you earned 25%? Remember, losses are linear, but the gains required to offset those losses can be exponential. Because of some of the confusion between saving and investing, it's easy for people to overly rely on one over the other. In reality, your plan is likely going to have a saving and investment component to it. So when do we save? We save when we have income, but little or no cash on hand. We can set a goal to build a cash savings balance that can cover 6 months or more of living expenses. This protects you against unexpected financial emergencies like losing your job or wrecking your car. It may also come in handy in other phases of life, including retirement, to protect against the ups and downs of the market. Again, a recent study shows that nearly half of Americans, 44%, cannot cover a $1,000 emergency expense from their savings, let alone 6 months or more of expenses. We have to be different than the average person. Savings is also appropriate for short-term financial goals. Examples may include buying a home, paying for college, or funding a wedding. If the timeline for reaching your goal is 5 years or less, saving is likely a safer choice than investing. Investing, even conservatively, can be risky, especially when your timeline is short. Saving and investing are related strategies for achieving financial security. To save or invest, you must forgo spending now to build wealth for your future. The difference between saving and investing is a choice in what you do with your unspent funds or unspent income. Saving means setting aside cash for future use. Investing means using cash to buy assets that should produce wealth through appreciation or income. So when do we invest? We invest when you have some income and some savings or a cash emergency fund. This choice is not linear in that saving and investing can and likely should coexist in your plan. So if investing involves risk, why not just save all of our money instead? Well, over the long term, investing has been a lot more powerful than saving. This is true because investing involves risk, and people demand to be compensated for taking on the extra risk of investing their money. Saving money is important, but investing may be the key to growing your money over time. Many people are unable to save, often by circumstance rather than choice, leaving them vulnerable to financial and mental stress. This takes us back to some of the keeping up with the Joneses mentality we spoke about briefly in episode 5, and that we'll get into much more deeply in our next episode. Delaying retirement savings is one such bad habit. The earlier you start, the more you can benefit from compound interest. Contributing regularly to retirement accounts like 401ks and our IRAs or individual retirement accounts, and taking advantage of employer matches and tax benefits is crucial. You can ensure consistent contributions to your savings and investment accounts by automating your savings. This habit helps you build wealth steadily without relying on manual transfers. While savings is crucial, simply letting your money sit in a low-interest account may not be enough to help you secure your financial future. Investing wisely can allow your money to grow over time and help you build wealth steadily. Educate yourself on various investment vehicles like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and real estate. More importantly, find yourself a competent financial advisor who can help to educate you on these things. More importantly, be there to coach you along the way. In general, human nature is a failed investor. Where else do we want to buy something once the price has appreciated greatly and sell something once the price has dropped significantly? We do not do this with any other major purchase that I can think of. Heck, we don't do this at the grocery store for that matter. We're always looking for deals, and some turn this into an art form. We have to consider long-term investment strategies that align with your financial goals and your risk tolerance. Rather than focusing on quick gains, think about how your investments can grow over time to provide financial stability and security. Avoid the money trap of missed investment opportunities by taking steps to make your money work for you in a sustainable and prudent manner. Consider consulting with a financial professional to develop a balanced investment plan that suits your needs and helps you achieve your long-term financial goals. A substantial portion of Americans are retirement plan rich but cash poor, meaning that they have assets tied up in their long-term investments but lack the liquidity to handle immediate financial needs. They may be prepared for their futures, but they lack the same level of preparation for the present. What if you want to start a business? What if you have a health concern that makes you want to retire early so you can take care of yourself? What if there's a major emergency that requires a significant amount of cash? A long-term 401k will not provide you with the same level of flexibility because it's a long-term tool. What's better, saving or investing? Well, that's sort of like chicken or egg, or peanut butter or jelly. You sort of need both if you want to have a good breakfast or a tasty sandwich. However, we have to establish a strong savings foundation before investing. Again, not that they're mutually exclusive. Heck, I can think of a personal example from nearly 25 years or so ago. I got into the investment side of the business and thought it would be a good idea to start saving, air quotes, some money for a house down payment someday. I was relatively new to the industry, at least on the investment side of the business, and decided to pick a mutual fund to begin again saving towards an eventual down payment on a home. I was in my 20s, not dating anyone at the time, and had no immediate plans to purchase a home. I picked a mutual fund, to remain nameless, that was one of the hot categories of the time. I started investing when it was near $18 to $20 per share, and it seemed that each time I purchased more, the price went down. Great problem to have if you want to accumulate more shares at a lower price. I kept buying, eventually met my future wife, and started making plans for purchasing a home together. The price of that mutual fund either kept falling or remained low. By the time we were ready for that down payment, we never actually got back to the original basis or cost in that investment, meaning that when we sold the mutual fund to get money for our down payment, it was worth less than had I simply buried the cash in the backyard or hid it under our mattress. This is not a solicitation for any sort of investment, instead sharing a personal story so that you might learn from my past mistake. I conflated saving with investing. If my time horizon was longer, that original mutual fund that I had begun purchasing and accumulating shares in may have paid off handsomely in the long run. Did it? Frankly, I stopped looking. Bottom line, this stuff is complicated, but you don't have to do it alone. It may be worth your while to consult a competent financial advisor rather than vloggers or financial celebrities online. Building wealth requires more than just following generic, canned advice you read from the internet or hear from a loved one. It's possible to go the do-it-yourself route, but you'll likely spend a significant amount of time and possibly money to learn everything you need to know. Even then, it's only going to get more complicated. Financial freedom may be closer than you think, especially if you live by these 7 principles to your financial success. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you may be on so that you can be alerted when new episodes are dropped. Beyond this, track yourself down a copy of our ebook that explores each of these 7 principles, of which you can find a link in the show notes on whatever platform you may be watching or listening from. At Mutual of Omaha Advisors, we understand personal finance is personal, and financial well-being is essential to achieving your life's goals. Our vision is for every customer to be able to imagine, plan, and secure their financial future. Make it personal. It's your money, it's your plan, it's your future.
This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult with the appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Mutual of Omaha Advisors is a division of Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.